morning. It's Saturday, I think, October 31st, and we are again in the beautiful library here in Fraser Park. And today we have really the great honor to having with us Shannon Grove, the California Assemblywoman that represents basically large parts of, or entire Kern County, if I'm not mistaken. Just about. Okay, that's perfect. So Shannon Grove is here for a town hall meeting in Fraser Park, and we will talk a little bit about her achievements in politics, and basically about who she is. And so with that, Shannon, welcome to the Fraser Park Library. And I understand that you grew up, that you're a native Kern County girl, basically. Yes. That you grew up in Arvin. Tell us a little bit about growing up in Arvin and Kern County.
So it was really nice to grow up in a small town. I believe in small town USA. My mom, who I have here with me today, is 86 years old, and she raised all 5 of us kids as a single mom. My dad left when I was 2, and so she put herself through high school when she was 30, and I think that she demanded that we all succeed and do something good. So I think all 5 of us turned out okay, and I think she's pretty proud of that. And I grew up on a small street called Butte Street, and we used to live across the street from a farm, Kavakovich Farms, and my mom used to work in the sheds, and back then they didn't have a lot of daycare options, and they didn't have OSHA, certainly, or restrictions at work. So I remember that my brother and I used to play underneath the conveyor belts while my mom sorted vegetables, so she could watch us at the same time. And growing up, we never went without anything, even though she was a single mom. If my brother was involved in Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts, then my mom was the den leader. If I was involved in missionettes, then she was the leader at missionettes. If all the kids were going fishing, the fathers were taking their sons fishing, then my mom would go up to 3 Rivers and fish with my brother and us. So she always made sure that we had that we did everything. We'd all pile in the car on Friday nights and go to the 99 theater, the movie theater, because I think it was $1 per carload or something like that. And anyway, so it was good. I went to Arvin High School. I graduated from Arvin High School. There wasn't a lot of money for us to go to college, so I didn't go to college. I don't have a college degree or an education. Right after high school, a few years after high school, I guess, I went to the United States military. I served overseas in Headquarters Company, 5th Corps in Frankfurt, Germany. And when I came back from the military, I was able to start my own business here in Kern County. So I've spent all of my life in Kern County except for the 3 years that I spent overseas in the military.
Tell me something about the military. Basically, why did you join the military? For how long you already expressed you were 3 years in that unit. But also I'm very interested to hear what is your most important experience from your time in the military? What is, what sticks, or what were your lessons learned from your military service?
So I joined the military because my friend and I, we were sitting watching TV. We were both working at JCPenney's, and not a big career path per se. And this commercial came on TV, and it said, "Be all that you can be, join the military and go to Europe on the buddy system." And of course, we're in our 20s, and so we did it. We went down to the recruiter station, we signed up, we went to Fresno that afternoon, we took our physicals. I came out after I'd been swearing to defend the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and Susie was crying, and it took me just about 0.3 seconds to realize that probably was not something good. And she told me they wouldn't let her go because she had asthma, but I had already signed up and I was off, so I came home and told my mom that I joined the Army, and I went to South Carolina for basic training, and then I got shipped over to Germany, and I was in Germany. And I guess the most significant thing that the military taught me, other than patriotism and love of country and to defend this country, I think the military taught me discipline. I think it taught me to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And I think it taught me a lot about freedom, because I was in country in Germany when the wall came down between East and West Berlin. And I think that has a significant impact on my life, because we did Berlin travel orders, and we traveled to East Berlin before the wall came down, and it was a different world, a different society than what it was in free free Berlin or free Germany, I guess you'd call it. And so I think about freedom when I think about my experience in the military.
Okay, so you came back from military, learning about discipline and be all you can be in. This things that you learn if you're part of a major group of people that have to be very focused and organized. So then you open your own business. How did you come to that?
So I came back and I started working at an answering service at night because I had my daughter with me, and so she could sleep at night, and my mom would have an easier time taking care of her because my husband was still overseas in the military. And so my daughter slept at night, and it was easier for my mom, so I worked the night shift at an answering service, and that answering service also owned a temporary staffing company. So I would, send out people to work at night, and I worked there for about a year. And then I got a job in the temporary staffing side of that business, and I worked there about a year. And then another temporary staffing company had recruited me to work because I had done really well in the industry. And I worked there about 2 years, and then I was sitting at lunch one day, and my brother said, why don't you do this on your own? And I said, oh, you'd have to have money and workers' comp and liability insurance and, a place. And so he called me the next day, and he goes, hey, come out to this place. And so I went out down Fruitville behind the dirt road. It was a kind of a strange place. And he had an office, 2 offices actually connected. And he goes, will this work? And I'm like, well, yeah, but we'd have to clean it up. And so I think that was about May 1st. And on May 15th, 1993, we opened Continental Labor and Staffing Resources. And we've been in business in this state for almost 24 years in spite of this state sometimes. And I'm really blessed and honored to be able to have a business where we give people a job. And I think the best remedy for poverty is to give somebody a job. And so that's what I get to do on a regular basis, is give somebody a job.